Hey, what's up everybody? This is Cam with Danomics. So in this video, I want to show you how we can use the Danomics and Claude integration to handle some basic tasks. In this case, doing something as simple as copying files. So I've got this Teapot Dome project, and let's say I need to deliver these files to a client of mine that wanted me to do some consulting. Now, a lot of times what I will do when I hand off projects is I'll use our admin tools to just transfer the files to their Danomics account. Um, However, a lot of times I, although I don't keep a copy of the data, I want to keep a copy of a lot of the interpretation files. That way, if they accidentally delete it, if they make changes to that interpretation and then they want to get back to the original, I've got a copy that I can provide them with. Um, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Claude make this copy for me because right now if I wanted to make a copy of this, what I would have to do is right click, make a copy, right click, make a copy, and it's a very tedious kind of process. It's not hard, but when you've got uh, you know three subfolders and 30 different files in here, that can get quite challenging. So here's what I'm going to ask Claude to do. I'm going to ask it to make a copy of the Teapot Dome files. Now, I'm not going to make you watch me type the prompt here, so I'm going to type it in and then I'll jump in and show it to you and walk you through it before we send it off. Okay, so the instructions that I've given Claude here is basically that, I need to hand the files off to a client. Before I do this, I want to make a copy of the files for myself. And I've asked it to do the following. I said, make a folder called Teapot Dome Copy, and then for all the flow, map, and CPI files in that folder and its subfolders, make a copy into the folder using the same structure. And I said, don't worry about copying the databases. And the reason I told it not to worry about copying the databases is a lot of times these are things that I'm not allowed to keep because they are, client proprietary data. So I always make sure to hand that off and then make sure I delete all the copies of it. So we're just keeping the files that would be necessary to recreate the work if the customer comes back and says, "Hey, I need you to look at this data again." All right, so let's send this off. And note on this one, this is a pretty lightweight task, so I'm using Sonnet 5 for this. That's the lightest weight model that there is in Claude. So we'll be a little less aggressive on burning tokens. So yep, Claude is it's evaluating my request and you know, it's going to do its thing here. And what I'm going to do is instead of making you watch Claude think, I'm going to pause this and then I'll come back once once it has done something for us. But you can already see that it's pulling up the Danomics file service list, which is the first step in allowing it to explore the data in our account. All right, and we're back now, and just want to go through what Claude has done for us here. So Claude came through here, and it said, it used 7 of our tools. So it used the file service list, file create, several times, get and set content. So just the kind of the standard things you would expect when the LLM is interacting with Danomics. And then it comes back and says, done. I created this Teapot Dome copy with the same subfolder structure as the original and copied all the flow map and CPI files. Databases were left out. And then it mentions the copies that it made, and it gives me a couple of things worth flagging here, and let's see how it's actually done here. So I'm just going to refresh my file tree. I see this Teapot Dome copy, and I see, I've got my same folders here, same well data, and my maps and flows. So now I can take this file and hand that off to my customers, knowing that we still have a backup here that we can that we can use if they need it. All right. Well, I know that's a really simple task, something you could totally do on your own. But instead of doing that myself, I was able to go off and do something a bit more value additive for the company than right clicking and saying make a copy. All right. If you're interested in learning more, just shoot us a note at sales@danomics.com. Thanks.